We'll see how it works. All right, so lines that are parallel lines. These are some facts that you need to know. Lines that are parallel have the same slope. This is the key thing I would write down. Parallel lines have the same slope. Same slope. Can anyone describe what is like, well, never mind. Parallel lines have the same slope. So that means if I have two lines that are parallel to each other, they would never, ever cross. Ever. Because they're just parallel. They will always consistently go to each other on the side. That means if they're parallel, they have to have different y-intercepts. Can anyone tell me why they would have to have different y-intercepts, Leslie? Perfect, right? If they didn't have different y-intercepts, they would be the exact same line. So they have to have different y-intercepts for them to be parallel. So the key fact here is they have the same slope. That's the main thing you need to know about parallel lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of questions regarding parallel lines. And the thing we need to make sure we remember is they have the same slope. So example 1. You don't really even need, I'm going to cross out these answer choices because we don't even need them. That didn't do anything. Let's do white. All right, let's do this. We got this. Line N has the following characteristics. Line N is parallel to 3x minus 5y equals 8. Line N passes through the point -4, 5. Okay, big thing here is they're parallel. So since they're parallel, we know they have the same what? Slope. LOL. Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing? All right, yeah, they have the same slope. So since they're parallel, they have the same slope. Well, can someone tell me what the slope of 3x minus 5y equals 8 is? What is the slope of that line? Alec? 3/5. Perfect. He did that so quick because I told you that slope for standard form is a over b. And if the sign's a minus sign, then it's a positive slope. So the slope of this is positive 3/5. Okay, so I know my line is going to have a positive 3/5 slope. And it passes through the point -4, 5. Well, that's an x, and that's a y. My answer choices are in standard form. So can someone tell me maybe how would I set this up to figure out what my equation would be? Anais?
You could write it in slope-intercept form. So you could write y equals, replace with 5 equals, and then 3/5 multiplied by our -4, which is replacing our x value, and then plus b.
Perfect. So, sorry again, my pen's messed up, so it's going to look kind of off. Perfect. So if I wanted it in slope intercept form, I could set it up like this. My slope is 3/5, have a x value -4, y value 5, and I could solve for b. This is actually, I'm very glad that Anaya said this because you will have to do this later on today. So even though this isn't standard form, it might make you go to slope intercept form. So, but I'm not going to solve this out. Just know that we would multiply these together and then solve for b. Since my answer choices are in standard form, could I leave the 3x minus 5y part here when I'm writing the ax plus by equals c? Can I leave it as, oh my gosh. We're going to pretend that says ax plus by equals c. Can I leave 3x minus 5y alone? Can I rewrite that down? Yeah, because it's the same slope. So I can leave the 3x minus 5y. The thing that's going to be different is this c value. 3x minus 5y equals c.
Oh.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm just going to plug in my points. So 3 times -4. And I would probably write this example now. Minus 5 times 5 equals C. So I need to solve for C. So I could just use a calculator since we're allowed to use calculators. Or I could do it in my head. 3 times -4 is -12. Minus 5 times 5 is 25. Equals C. -12. Oops. -12 minus 25 equals -37. Pretend that's a -37. Yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So then my answer would be 3x minus 5y equals -37. Okay, wow.
Wait, Miss Patterson.
Yes, Callie?
So I thought that the y-intercept would be, was it b over c or c over b? I forgot.
C over B.
So would we have to change how we would put it in the standard format for it to be whatever c over b would be to equal -37?
-37 is not our y-intercept.
Oh, right. Sorry, I
37
forgot we were doing it. Sorry, I forgot. Never mind.
No, you're good. No, you're good. So if I did solve this out, then this would, the first part when we were talking, when Anais told us to put in a slope intercept form, that would give us our y-intercept if we wanted it. But this just wanted the equation for this problem.
Okay.
Why is it sucking so bad today? I don't know. All right, give me questions. Give me questions. This is kind of difficult, so I understand if there's questions. Anything, Zoom people? Any questions? Delaney, go ahead.
Why did it change to the negative? Was that because the point is, wait. No, that's just because of the expression. So then why would we do the same thing if it's when it's parallel? How do we know that it's the same thing?
So you're talking about the 3x minus 5y part?
Yeah.
So since they're parallel, we know they have the same slope. So since they have the same slope, we know that the 3x minus 5y part will stay the same.
Okay, so just automatic.
Yeah, automatically you can just rewrite this part and just need to figure out what your new C value is based on the points it gave you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, let's look at another one. So if you feel confident, you can go definitely ahead of me. Again, we're just gonna ignore these answer choices. We don't really need them. So line Q is parallel to y equals 0.5x minus 8. Parallel. On these problems, why are they most missed? Because people miss the important part. So parallel means same slope. To y equals 0.5x minus 8. What is the slope of this line?
0.
Alex? 0.5. Awesome. So 0.5 is my slope. So I need something with the same slope. But I know it's going to have a different y-intercept. So I don't even know. I don't really need that minus 8 part. And it passes through the point -1, 5. Someone on Zoom want to tell me how to set this up? Go ahead, Callie.
Okay, so to set this up, it gives us the points that it passed through. So we could substitute those in the y equals mx plus b
form and substitute y with 5 and substitute x with -1.
Perfect. And what am I going to put for m?
0.5.
Perfect. So we're substituting in the y and the x value in the slope, and we're solving for our new y-intercept. Someone in here, talk me through it. How do I solve for this y-intercept? What I do? What I do? Perfect. So 5 equals 1/2 times -1 would be -0.5 plus b. Okay, and then what else? Alex? Yep, so I'm going to add 0.5 to both sides. Since this is negative, I do the opposite. So I'm going to add 0.5 to both sides. And that will give me 5.5 equals b. There's my y-intercept. So then my equation is y equals 1/2 x. I don't know. I like writing 1/2 instead of 0.5, but same thing, plus 5.5. There's my slope.
Gives you a better rise over the line.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why I like writing usually the slope in fraction form. All right, give me those questions. Give me those questions. Now we're good? This isn't difficult? Okay. Questions online? Questions on Zoom? So y'all ready for something more spicy? No. Yes.
Throw it at us.
Throw it at us. Perpendicular lines. These are the spicy ones. Lines that are perpendicular have slopes that are negative reciprocals. Ooh, I know Miss Hurley drilled this in y'all's head. What's reciprocal? Leslie? Yep, so it's just flipping the fraction. But it's the negative reciprocal. So I'll explain what that means in a moment. So lines are perpendicular, negative reciprocal.
The product of the slopes of perpendicular lines be -1.
So the product of the slopes of the, yeah. I never thought of it like that. Cool. One thing about perpendicular lines is that they intersect at a 90-degree angle. You cannot assume that lines are perpendicular. They would have to have slopes that are negative reciprocals. All right, so negative reciprocal, we already heard the word reciprocal means flip the fraction, right? The numerator and denominator. The negative part does not mean the number has to be negative. It means it's the opposite sign. So for instance, let's say I have the slope of okay, that's black. Let's say I have the slope of 1/2, and I want to figure out what the negative reciprocal of that is. Well, I would flip the fraction and change the sign. Since this is positive, it would be -2/1. But let's say I had the slope -1/2. The negative reciprocal would be +2/1. So as you change the sign, so flip the fraction and change the sign. Again, I apologize for the handwriting today. So flip the fraction, change the sign. So let's say I had a slope of 2. What would the perpendicular slope be? Alex? -1/2. Perfect. Because 2/1, flip it, would be 1/2 and change the sign. If it was -1/4, what would the new slope be? +4/1. Perfect. Anyone need any more examples on that? Okay. So let's look at an example. These are the harder ones, okay? So fair warning. Okay. Let me move that out the way. Again, we don't need answer choices. So. Line A is perpendicular. So automatically I'd write negative reciprocal to remind myself. To the line represented by the equation 5x plus 4y equals 10. 5x plus 4y equals 10. What is the slope of this equation? The slope right now. Positive or negative? Negative. So negative 5/4. So right now my slope is negative 5/4. So in the way that I remember this is that there's a plus sign, so it's opposite, and a over b. So negative 5/4. So my new slope would be what if it's perpendicular? Perfect, positive 4/5. So this is the new slope. I need a slope of positive 4/5. And it passes through the point 5, -2. So there's my x and there's my y. Now I'm going to use these. This is in standard form. All my answer choices are in standard form. So if my slope is 4/5, can someone tell me how I would set up this standard form equation to figure out what C is? Go ahead, Anais.
4 times 5.
I'm gonna put X for right now just so that they can see the slope part first.
Plus, minus.
Minus,
5, and then you put y, but -2.
Perfect. Good job. Now I want you to notice something. Look at our original equation, 5x plus 4y, and look at this equation, 4x minus 5y. What did we just really do? Flip it. We just changed the a and the b's, and we changed the sign. So anytime it's in standard form, you can just flip the a and b and change the sign for the perpendicular. So 4x minus 5y equals c. This has a slope of positive 4/5. Let's figure out what that c value is. Anais told us, let's plug in the x and plug in the y, and let's solve. Now, if you do not like negatives, I really suggest using a calculator so you don't make like small mistakes. 4 times 5 is 20. Now, listen how I do this. I see a -5 and a -2. I just count that as -5 times -2. So that's plus 10 equals C. And so that'd be 30 equals C. So my equation would be 4x minus 5y equals 30. That's the hardest it's going to get today. So ask me a question if it doesn't make sense. Okay. Zoom, any questions? Zoom? No? Alrighty then. We have one more example, then I'm finished. I know that was fast. Back in person, doing it quick. All right. Line Z is perpendicular to the line y equals 2/3 x plus 7 and passes through the point 6, -7. How about y'all try this on your own? And then y'all can talk, and then I'll choose someone random. That's always fun. So please not me. So perpendicular, y equals 2/3 x plus 7. Why do you want that? 7. So I know that slope should be a negative reciprocal. So that's how I know how to start it off.
Like, so when you do a reciprocal and it's negative, so you switch the fraction and you put it positive or what?
Well, this is positive, so when you flip it, it becomes negative.
So when it's negative, when you flip it, it's still negative? Or-
It becomes positive. So opposite side. Mhm. All right, so my first question is, if the slope for this line is 2/3, Tanya, what would the slope be for the perpendicular line?
-3.
So -3/2. So I got my slope is -3/2. From there, Addie, what would I do? Now that I know that my slope is -3/2.
I'm not sure.
So if it passes through the point 6, -7, would I use this point for anything? So I know that my slope is -3/2, but I don't know my y-intercept. So Addie, what would I do with that point? Like, what would I do with it? This is an X, this is a Y. Leslie? So I'm gonna substitute this X and that Y in. Awesome. So -7 equals -3/2 times 6 plus B. -7 equals -3/2 times 6. I'm sure I could do it. in my head, just don't- Thank you. -9 plus B. How do I get rid of this -9? Add it. So that gives me 2 equals B. Awesome. So my equation would be y equals -3/2x plus 2. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. Yep. So you can also write in decimal form. Absolutely. Okay. That's literally like all. So we're going to do our assignment. Now, probably usually when we get to the assignment part, that's where the questions start popping. Let me get to it. So the assignment might not take some of y'all that long to do. So that would be good so we can go over the Unit 3 exam. I assume everyone's finished that, hopefully. Because it was due last class. So hopefully everyone's done that. All right, let me stop the recording.